Hi, welcome to Sage Health TV. I'm Dr. Angela Yeagley.
And I'm Dr. Anastasia Jones.
Today we're going to talk about 5 great ways to get over the flu or a bad cold if you are unfortunate enough to pick it up this year. Let's go over maybe the symptoms of the flu if you're a little unsure. It's headache, fever, chills, sometimes nausea, definitely fatigue or lethargy. Oh gosh, what else?
There can be some respiratory symptoms.
Yes.
So a dry cough or sore throat are not uncommon as well.
Right. But generally just an overall feeling of horribleness, you know?
You probably, unfortunately, a lot of people already know what that feels like. At least, hopefully, it's a distant memory.
Yes, definitely.
But if you do start to experience some of these symptoms, the quicker you get these supportive measures on board, they can really help if you get them on board at high doses in the first 24 hours. It can really shorten the severity and duration.
And one thing I realized that we didn't quite put on our list, there is medication. Sometimes when people can get in, it's called Tamiflu. It's an antiviral. And for some people, if you start that right away, it really needs to be within the first 24 to 48 hours. That can also help knock it down. Doesn't always help, but sometimes. But the other natural things we tend to add on to that, in addition to, or if you're not doing that, there are a lot of nutrients we like for temporary, high dose and boosting the immune system. So number 1, I would say, is vitamin D3. And we like to go really high dose because D3 is an amazing, amazing nutrient to really, really push the immune system in a very positive way. So we both like to do 50,000 IU. And we know that's a lot. It's going to sound like a lot, but just for 3 days. And then you reduce it down to 10,000 a day until you're better.
Exactly. And these are things that, we encourage people to do preventatively in smaller doses.
Yes.
But the doses we're talking about now are
for treatment. Definitely. And then secondly, vitamin A, we'd recommend at least 20,000 IU. Sometimes I go a little higher. Sometimes I'll do 50,000, or even if there's a lot of respiratory, even 100,000 for about 3 days, and then reduce again down to 10 or 20,000. Do you want to talk about the rest?
Yeah, and then zinc is a great one. Zinc has been shown to really, once again, in that first window of time, if you can get a good amount of zinc, like 50 to 100 milligrams. Good to do that one maybe in a couple of divided doses because sometimes it can upset your stomach a little bit in higher doses. That's a great one. Selenium's really, really important. Around 200 micrograms. That can be done a couple times a day. And then vitamin C.
It's so good.
Large amounts of it.
So good.
Yeah.
And we say to bowel tolerance. And what that means is really vitamin C as well. You want to do in divided doses throughout the day. I would probably do 2,000 to 3,000 at one time. And it's just until you get a little bit of loose stool. That's what bowel tolerance is.
So once you hit that line, then you kind of back down.
Yes. So sleep?
Next really important thing is sleep. So a lot of times people feel those first signs are kind of like, okay, I might be getting sick. I'm not sure. We all love to do I'm totally guilty of this too, but the mind over matter thing where it's like, nope, I'm not getting sick. I'm not getting sick.
Right.
I know everyone around me.
I'm going to work.
Whatever.
Bad idea.
And I'm going to go push it and go to work, spread it to everyone else, and also just make it worse for myself. So not everyone has option, but if you can, just give yourself that first window of time off to just crawl into bed with some of the other things we're going to talk about and get a really good nap in, a good long window of sleep, and that will give your body that little edge to start fighting early.
It's okay to sleep as long as you need to sleep, and if that's all day, that's okay. As long as, of course, you have the support to do that. Just do it. Your body will love you for it. The next one, Dr. Anastasia is going to help me pronounce this. It's the homeopathic for flu that many people probably see over the counter.
It's called Oscillococcinum.
Thank you. So this one we found it's so gentle, so gentle. Can be used, for really anybody with any health condition, and definitely for the flu. And we found some people really love it, and it makes just an amazing difference. And other people, they're like, I don't know, but it's inexpensive and again, very gentle. So,
and the way it's used is you do several doses fairly close together. So they're tiny, tiny pellets that come in these little vials, and you basically take a half or a full vial. Kind of, it's debatable, but they're very small. And you dissolve it under your tongue, and you do that 3 consecutive times, like over a few hours. Is thought to be the best way to use it. And I have had people who swear by it that say like they felt it coming on, they did that, and it went away. And it's worth a shot for sure.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
One of those things.
So the next, we'll both kind of jump in and talk about this, are basically all of the amazing herbal immune support herbs that we have, as well as the mushrooms. Incredible research around basically mushrooms. It's not so much like the white button mushrooms that you think about, but like reishi, turkey tail, cordyceps, maitake, shiitake, and there are blends of these, so you don't have to go and buy them at the market and make them into a tincture.
There's some really good ones out there now, and as with anything we're talking about, there's a difference between preventative dosing, like we talked about in our video on preventing colds and flu. There's therapeutic dosing, and that is where if you're using a tincture, a combination of various herbs for immune support, or ones that are directly antiviral. It's the difference between taking like half a dropper once a day and taking a dropper full or a tablespoon 5 or 6 times that day. Right?
That's
so
the
we're
way you
talking
want to
about
dose
you hit it high and you hit it hard when you're in the throes.
Yes, absolutely.
So,
and both Dr. Anastasia and I really love the herbs osha, lomatium, although caution with lomatium, some people can give them a rash. It's totally, once you stop it, it goes away completely. As well as like licorice, elderberry is very gentle, so children, that's a really good one.
Two really great ones that can be used by everyone, but are really safe in young children, pregnant women, are elderberry and umka. Umka is actually
so good.
A homeopathic dilution of something called Pelargonium pseudoides. It's the little interesting tidbit. It is the second highest selling over-the-counter product in Germany, following aspirin.
Oh, fantastic.
For the last couple of decades. So it's a really effective medicine for helping to kind of nip respiratory infections, cold, flu, in the bud early.
And again, small children, once they start running that little fever, getting the pink cheeks, like definitely reach for that with the elderberry. And lastly, I know this is one of Dr. Anastasia's favorites. Probably just do it for fun.
Okay, I know. So I love this. So the hyperthermia treatments, and I say this because what it is basically increasing your core body temperature, which might seem counterintuitive to people. So first I want to say that if you get a fever or your kids get a fever to a certain degree is our friend. Remember that. Fever is our friend. That is our white blood cells. That's our immune system responding. So if you hit 100, 101, 102, if you can, let it go.
Right,
let
it ride.
Your body do what it needs to do, right? I know we don't want to see anybody suffer or be miserable, and we reach for the children's Tylenol, but really, it's you don't want to just go by the number on the I almost said the scale, the number on the thermometer, right? But if people seem okay, they're not listless, they're not, a little headache and not, obviously not feeling great, but it's okay, riding it out, let the fever go. If it's a low fever where somebody's sick and they're just kind of barely making one, I love to help it along and like induce a temporary fever. And that's my favorite way to do this, is to get in a warm bath, fill the bathtub, throw some Epsom salts in there, throw some herbs like some essential oils like thyme, eucalyptus, rosemary, whatever you have, few drops of that, get in with a cup of ginger tea or peppermint tea and sit in there for like 20 minutes, get really warm, and then get out. And this is what I call the burrito wrap, secret weapon. I'm sharing it for the first time ever. I've been doing this. I did this with my kids from the time they were this big. Neither of them ever got sick for longer than 24 hours between the ages of 2 and 17 now. Weird. And first sign, pull them out of the bath, or yourself or your loved one. You can do it to each other if you're a couple. And beanie on, wool socks on, and then wrap up in a couple of sheets and then a big comforter and just sweat. Do it until you basically like create a fever and then break it. And it's amazing because it just gives your immune system a boost, and you can even do it a couple times a day. So I know it doesn't sound fun, but it
feels nice and supported. And so, key points here, definitely, I mean, take note of this. I know it's really hard sometimes when you feel sick to go, oh, I need to get all these things. If you don't have them, as a preventative, send your loved one for them, because they're really going to make a difference.
The list will be on our website with the little blog to go along with this, or just stock up for the season. We have, I know that I have patients that come in, I'm seeing them for other things, and they'll come in and they'll be like, oh my God, I just got sick and I was sick for 2 or 3 weeks. And I'm like, well, what did you do? And they're like, nothing. I just kind of wrote it out. And I'm like, it's good to have a little arsenal, a little winter cold and flu first aid kit ready to go, just like you have another first aid kit. You know what to do right at the beginning. So
take this list, go to Whole Foods or come see us. So definitely, if you would love to, have us walk you through, or you are the person that you're like, oh my gosh, I catch everything, I'm always getting the flu, we probably need to dive a little deeper for you and see what's affecting your immune system and create a personalized support
what's going
regimen.
on with your gut, what's going on with your body's ability to adapt to stress.
What are your other exposures? So definitely come see us. And thank you for joining us. Please follow, like, and subscribe. And
stay healthy.
Stay healthy. We'll see you next time.